Welcome to Mam's Talk, where Mam's Talk Survivor. Episode 3 is here. I'm Kay, the host and game planner of the season, and with me is my co-host, Jess.
Hello, so excited to talk about some epic Survivor Skaneateles gameplay in this episode.
And a returner to the pod, Ella, we're so happy to have you. A coconut, a ma'am now, a loyal fan,
Yeah,
a
absolutely.
woman.
A woman. That is correct. You can't see them, but my pronouns are she, her. They've been silenced by
Yeah.
the game
By Zoom recording
and by Zoom.
infrastructure.
But I'm
Yeah.
here and I'm ready to play the game.
We're ready.
Mam's
Well,
Talk.
the game did finish,
Um,
but you're gonna like mentally replay it.
I'm too late.
Yeah, you're in the game though,
Yeah, you're here.
That's
so
amazing.
we can relive this
Amazing.
episode. So let's talk about just the tribe swap of this episode and
Yes.
Justin's downfall, self-inflicted.
Yeah.
I think
Ella, you should talk about this.
I think it's a little self-inflicted. I think that I inflicted the other half, though.
Yeah,
Of
you
course.
certainly
Yes.
he put the like knife into himself and you took it and you twisted it and then you took it back out and you kind of like stabbed it into a different location, I think.
Yeah, I definitely did.
You said stay down.
It did hurt me genuinely because I love Justin.
Mhm.
But sorry if you say you don't want to be here, like, get out.
Only the real ones stay at the
Yeah.
coconut camp.
As Sarat said in his interview, you either have it or you don't.
He did say this.
So
Sorry to Justin.
sorry
But
to Justin.
he's still
But
here,
he is
so-
still here. Yeah.
He is still here,
Yeah.
He's got something.
but he's
left.
not me.
What'd you say?
But he's not with me.
Exactly.
And
And
so,
that's good for
Yeah.
you.
No, he did kind of sign his death warrant here.
I
But
genuinely think that he did. Because
Yeah.
they had to have known that Sarat indicated any instance that he was, like, not in it or that he would cross me, and I instantly turned on him.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
I think it's like because we were already like kind of like on the fence about him or Gabby, once it was like any indication that like he just would have not preferred necessarily, but like would like feel okay about being voted out, it was just easier to like do that instead of being like, oh, now I have to like
Yeah.
be maybe like mean to not that voting someone's out is mean, but like
Yeah.
for Gabby's feelings, so it's like, well, I might as well already just go for the person who said they are maybe okay leaving. But
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
definitely here.
Yeah.
That's true. And like you and Gabby, I think, did just as poorly at the challenge.
Yeah.
But you had to save you and your girl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that rewatching this episode, it just really hit me how I was being perceived as a unit with
Yeah.
Miss Gabriella, and
Yes.
Definitely. Let's talk about it.
not how I was perceiving us.
Yes, you were being very much like, as someone who was in the perceiving spot, I was very much perceiving you guys as a duo, and like definitely Zach and Grant were too.
Oh, see, I didn't view it that way. Interesting.
Oh, it's
Oh,
in the
that-
episode.
That
No.
Zach and Grant were.
No, I know that they were I know that they were talking.
Oh no,
Oh.
I'm sorry. I mean, they also perceived you as like we all
Oh.
three were like it's gonna be like there's some sort of divide here. It was just like, yeah, I guess maybe it was because Gabby hadn't played before. She was kind of sticking by your side, kind of thing.
Yeah, there was no point. Love her, truly one of the best in the world. Could not seem to talk to another person that didn't
Mhm.
involve her.
Yes.
And that
Yeah,
was
and the other thing was anytime we would talk to one of you, it would always be the same conversation, even if we were separately talking to you, because it was like you guys were clearly talking
yeah.
and then like would have the same ideas about things. And it just was like, Okay, so I'm guessing this conversation's already happened with Ella or with Gabby, and I'm getting it secondhand. Like, that was just sort of how it felt.
Which is
Yeah.
fair, which is fair. But I will say this, had you and Zach come to me and been like, we'll get rid of, like, we want to get rid of Gabby, she would have been gone.
Listen, okay.
Sorry, my friend.
The way that I feel about this decision, looking back on it, I do really think that getting Gabby out would have been a much more interesting move. However, if Gabby switches to the other tribe, we will be in trouble.
Well,
Like,
so
we're not.
I think that's the interesting piece here is
Yeah.
that the reason we were, and it comes across so cold in the tribal council.
Oh, yeah.
Just being like, yeah, we don't care about this twist at all.
Listen.
No, listen, I really thought I was doing something. I came out and I said,
You were.
Did
You
you
were.
know
You know what?
that
No,
there's going to be a swap? Does that change
If
anything?
it had been anyone other than Justin, the answer would have been yes. It would have
Yes.
switched who I was voting for.
Exactly. But it was
Yeah.
like, the way I felt is it was going to be the same answer no matter what. So doing a live tribal was just going to make it worse. Like, because we were going to have to like because I think we tried to do like I can't remember. Did we try to do like a anyone want to go kind of thing? I can't remember. Or did we
or as soon as Justin told me that, like, do you mean tribal?
Yeah, I mean tribal. I mean, it's not in the edit, but
I don't think so. I think I would have put that in.
Yeah, right. I don't know. I kind of feel like it was like just an obvious choice at that point. And for me, I figured the less I showed in the tribal space, the better. And I think everyone was kind of feeling the same way. So it comes across really like, okay, well, you were going to go anyway, but now you're swapping. I think Zach puts a good spin on it, being like, oh, well, it doesn't change anything because anyone who leaves, I would want them to come back in the game. Like, but then Grant really is the nail in the coffin for me.
My big push here, I guess, is like if there were a little bit more contemplation about it, maybe he would feel better about the decision. Or even like feigning that it wasn't him, but now this makes sense.
But now it makes sense. Yeah, but then I feel like,
clapping when he was announced didn't save our faces. That was somehow worse than us being cold.
Because everyone's like, yeah, we were gonna vote for you anyway, but who, like, bye.
Listen,
I guess
I do, like, I hear you, but I also
I see it. I respect it.
I don't know what the better what is the better option. We sit and we say, who wants to go to the other tribe? And someone says, I'll go. That would be
you pretend that perhaps he wasn't going to go, and now hold on. This decision, like this twist, is now makes it so that he goes there. So now, like he's a part of the decision.
But would he have believed that?
But then
maybe.
But then what's worse is then there's paranoia within the tribe. I would rather keep the actual coconut strong and have Justin flip to the other side rather than like Gabby be like, so if it wasn't Justin, who was it?
I
mean, you tell her the truth, but like I don't know. I think there's ways that you could play this.
I feel like it was
cold.
I feel like Justin was not playing the strategic game enough that it didn't feel like such a strong consequence having him feel slighted by this rather than someone like Gabby being slighted or even anyone feeling paranoid. Like paranoia was not the vibe that we needed at camp.
No, I think any other person being sent to the other tribe would have been absolute poison being like infested. Like
let's do a little experiment here. Ella, you are booted in the same way that Justin was. You were the original plan, and everyone's like, we don't care. I find out
almost all of the votes went to me.
All of them. Let's say
all of them except you.
Yeah.
What do you do when you get over there?
I'm wheeling and dealing.
Oh yeah.
Like that's your only option. Whether if I make it to the merge, which I think is a huge if at that point.
Yeah.
Like I think that I would be booted pretty quickly from the other side because I think that they wouldn't believe my attempts to like merge.
Yeah.
Except maybe with Allie at that point because she clearly, as we see in the episode, is like a little pissed at her tribe.
Yeah, she's wanting a spice up situation happening on the other side. But even her, I mean, I don't know.
I don't
It's
know
all
too.
very.
And I may have rejoined you all like post merge if I made it there, but like I think I would at that point have to like worry about my own skin.
I also think once you're not like, so say the merge is happening, what, like 2 votes down the line or something, and then like you are now out of the loop of that original Coconuts Alliance. So even if it's like there's a way to get back in with like us in that respect, it's like you can't really trust what's happening. Like
No,
it's all,
dangerous.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think we were lucky having someone like Justin still on our tribe who we felt like safe enough to
Again,
get out and have him be back in the game. I mean, love you, buddy. But yeah.
Yeah.
No, it does make sense. But let's maybe shift gears here. There's a lot of advantage stuff happening
Yes.
this episode. The dolls have finally found the puzzle box.
Finally.
Episode 3.
My God. Because they were
Episode
sitting in
3.
that tent. They were sitting in that tent so much they couldn't even look around.
They found the puzzle box, and Caroline is kind of moving the pieces with the fake idol as well.
No, Caroline she's making moves. That's for sure. Like it's clear that within her alliance she's not trusting anyone, and I respect that.
Definitely. I mean, she's playing hard. We knew she would play hard going into this. I think she's playing again with Manhattan. It's really hard to say. Her game is hard to track because of the lack of footage, but to me it seems like she's playing harder this season.
And might I say, there's no footage of any of this gameplay happening anyway.
That's true.
The only thing that I had sort of footage of was me putting the fake idol into the cooler.
We're really
that
lucky.
I kind of like made it look like it was maybe Caroline.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
but
we're
she's
lucky to have
a good thing that she recaps the whole saga. So basically Max, her, and Santino are doing the puzzle box, and she's the one who ultimately like cracks the final code. So she gets the idol, right? Like a full idol, not a half idol, a full thing. Max and Santino know about it, so they form a little alliance. And then she also finds the fake idol, rehides it.
Yeah.
And then is like watching the tree that she hid it in, from what I understand. Watching to see who got it. Santino gets it.
Yeah.
But good thing to have an alliance, because he tells her anyway. And she goes, well, now I feel like I can trust him because he told me. So that's good on Santino for like, being honest with that. Because I think sometimes we are like, why are you telling people that you have this?
I mean, it builds trust very quickly.
Yes, it does.
And this is like an instance with it.
Right?
Yeah, no. Yeah, oh, totally. That's why like 100. You can tell in the footage that's like I'm like, yep, okay, Zach's my number 1. Got it. Like, I'm here. It was really the fact that he like gave it to me that made me feel like so secure with him. But yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I am the person that like kind of watches Survivor at home and I'm like, God, why are you telling them? But yeah, sometimes it's valuable for sure. I will also say what I was trying to say before is thank God we have stationed confessional time, because otherwise Caroline's not talking about this. Caroline's not saying this to the camera.
We wouldn't have known about it.
We wouldn't have known it happened.
How would she have done it? They all sat in a tent for hours.
I know.
Like,
right.
The only person that we get doing like a self-filmed confessional is Allie, who is like, what was she going to the bathroom and came back?
You're telling me after you solved the puzzle box, you 3 who just made an alliance, you're not going to give us a little recap? The 3 like
some of us are more
made an alliance.
Okay, some of us are more dedicated to filming than others.
Yeah. And I'll say it here now. Next season when I'm on, if you're not filming, you're gone, and that's a threat.
You're done. Put those cameras up, baby.
Just stop filming yourself.
And I stand by my threats too. They're not empty. Okay.
No. I won't
So-
cross you. No.
All you gotta do is take your
uh,
phone out. That's all you gotta do.
Yeah. Listen, I'm not concerned. If I'm playing, I'm filming, and you know this. So
Right. So the vapid bitches will stay in on my watch at least. If you want to look at yourself,
the
I'm
talkers,
the talkers.
the girls who love to talk.
Yeah. But yeah, so we talked about Zach giving you the idol. Let's
Yes.
go to this moment because it's kind of crazy that he like fully gives it to you. When this is happening, like what's your thought process?
I mean, I think you could see my face.
I mean, yeah, we get a reaction for
but
sure.
yeah, I was we're 2 for 2 on Jess idol reveal reactions being like insane. But no, my heart started like racing so fast and I couldn't even like listen to what he was like saying to me because my mind was going like a mile a minute.
A mile? Wow.
That's fast.
That's real fast. Yeah, no, I was like, whoa. And then I was, because I mean, you know, we had this like pre-game relationship from last season, and me and him were like the duo of the dragon fruits because we were the only ones who made it to the merge, like besides Dylan. But Dylan kind of he like was voted out by us, so he didn't like have the same allegiance. But yeah, so I was expecting that we would maybe work together, but I was not willing to give him my trust until that moment. And yeah, he clearly wanted to work with me and was using that as a bargaining chip, which it worked. You got to give it to him because it worked.
Now here's a question I have for you.
For me?
If you were bestowed the half idol, what are you doing with it at this point in time?
Keeping that shit to myself. I'm looking around for the other half and I'm keeping that shit to myself. But yeah. Again, whether that's the right decision or not, I don't know. But I was very cautious of my in-game information and what to do with it, which is why you'll hear me keep talking about this like knowledge I have of Grant's idol, because I just really don't like trust my first instincts with like the game info. Like, do I like, and then now I have Zach and I'm like, do I share that with Zach? I'm like, no, I don't think I do. Because I think the more information you have in the game, the more power you have in the game.
Right.
So
I think it's also worth noting here that Caroline is letting Santino believe that he has a real idol.
Yeah, I also thought that was interesting. I mean, she did say she wasn't going to let him play it, but I like that she's letting him think that he has a real idol for now. I like that from her.
I don't know if I trust her own words that she's not going to let him play it. Like,
right. Yeah.
I think it depends on the situation, really. Yeah, like she's keeping her options open.
Yeah. Like, I think I guess it's fair to say at this point of the game, but like, I don't know if you can ever say, like, if you're already planting that seed of a lie, like, that has to be in the back of your mind that it's possible to like send him home that way.
Definitely.
Right. I think it's probably like, well, right now this alliance is working, but I could see in the future, I don't want him to know that that's real, and maybe like he becomes someone I want to get out. So now I have that upper hand.
Yeah, things change so fast, especially in this like short form game. So like, yeah, that could truly be next round. That could be totally different.
That's very true.
Her.
Very true.
All right.
I also
go ahead.
I want to say that I video footage of me clocking that threesome because my finger was on the pulse with them three, and I mean,
You're referring to the AQ Alliance?
The AQ crew, as Santino says.
Yes.
Yes. And these are individuals who have gone to high school together.
Yes.
For those who are not aware, are you well?
Yeah, and sorry, I choked on my water. Yes, and I also attended said high school, so I was anticipating that they would be working together in that group. Yeah, just
it was a concern of mine going into the game how many people had grown up together.
Yeah,
and whether
definitely
it felt very like almost like blood versus water type of vibe of like,
so true.
Is it the people you grew up with, or is it the people that like you now are around.
All I have to say is I don't trust any of those bitches. I was not
On either end.
like on either end, but especially the high school people. I'm like, no.
I'm curious.
Certainly
I
not.
wonder. I think they did toy around actually with some sort of upstate downstate tribe divide, but I think we didn't have the numbers for it.
Well, as we've discussed, it's tough with like last minute changes too to do a season with like a casting twist because like people are dropping out last minute is what's happening. So
yeah. Well, I'm just thinking we had 14 players upstate. It was you. Unclear where you. I think you're a downstater, Ella, even though you're from PA. That's a different state.
Yeah, but
it's south.
Well, it's south, but also like the way that I know all of these people.
Yeah,
sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. She wouldn't fit with that group.
Jess, Grant, Dominic, Zach,
Caroline,
Max, Mo.
Yeah, so 7. But we were what? Was it a 12-person season?
We were 14. There were 14. So maybe that would have worked. Wait.
Am I forgetting someone?
No, re-edit the season. Re-edit the season.
Wait, I messed up. I think when I was conceptualizing it, the numbers didn't work out. And then like when we had those last minute people like come in.
Yeah, because there were a few last minute changes at post once you had already like the game was already like it planned and set.
Dang.
Yeah.
That'd have been cool.
Yeah.
What a difference.
I also could be a swing upstate, downstate.
You wish.
You could have been the Grant.
Not you in your I Heart the Path of Totality hat. Like, yeah, I could maybe be downstate.
I was literally wearing my upstate hat during the season.
That would have been hysterical. You show up in the upstate hat, and Kay's like downstate.
You're downstate. You're gonna represent downstate. But yeah, that was just interesting.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the challenge. This was one of my faves.
I loved this challenge. I did. I loved it, and like I was succeeding at it like most of the time, so I was enjoying myself.
Sorry, Ella, why don't you like it?
I don't know what you could be referring to. I did wonderfully in this.
She was fantastic.
I helped provide our tribe with some helpful tips about the way memory works before the game.
You and Gabby are like, well, I'm gonna use my psychology background.
I did say before the game started that I was not good at memory games.
Yes. Like you understand the brain, but it doesn't work the way you want it to.
Yeah.
The only quiz I've ever cheated on in my life was a big reveal was a dates quiz because I couldn't remember like history class. Because it's like rote memory like that, I just can't do.
Girl, I get it.
Yeah.
Dates horrible. If you ask me your birthday right now, I can't tell you. I'm so sorry.
I know.
I'm so sorry.
We've been known this.
Yeah, we know this.
I still don't know Jess's phone number.
Yeah. I thought you were gonna say her birthday.
No, I know her birthday. Because she doesn't shut up about it.
After some
should I guess your phone number right now?
No, don't.
Just kidding.
Doctor.
I for one love to memorize things and consider myself quite good at it. So I was very excited about this challenge, especially because I missed all the memory challenge stuff in Manhattan. So I was very excited to try my hand at a memory challenge. This specific kind of memory is not really my thing. Like I'm not so much a visual memory person. I'm more of like a words on a page kind of memory person, but either way, I was enjoying myself. And I was happy that I could show up for the team in that way. Because I felt like a valuable member of the group and I felt safe in this vote for that reason. So
yeah. I'm just gonna pat myself on the back a little bit here. I really am happy with the like diversity of the challenge types. Like I feel like it really like showed different skill sets of like that everyone had to offer. And obviously we're only 3 episodes in, but like we had like that obstacle course with the puzzle, and then we had the communication challenge with the blindfolds, and then sort of like physical memory now.
Yeah, I feel like we have a balance of people being good at things, and it's not so much like, oh God, they're gonna win out, like,
Right.
you
It's not so
know,
cut and dry for
yeah.
sure.
I do also want to point out, logistically with this challenge, that I think the majority of the cast did believe you would be holding up some kind of
Yes.
image
Correct.
of what we had to remember. And as
Yes.
you smartly pointed out, that would have been an insane amount of work for you to have like produced. And yet all of us were like, you've done such a good job with this already that you must have done this.
Next time.
I did think that would be the case, and it would not be like, okay, now I have to think about what a snake looks like. Okay. No.
Okay, wait, talk me through what you thought it was going to be. Just
like
so I have it to...
a picture of the item that you wanted
that
us
says
to
the
remember.
word snake on it?
No, a picture of the item.
Right.
The
I was thinking
exact item.
That picture with the item and then also a caption for those who maybe don't know what a snake is.
See, that would...
But you wouldn't have had to say anything. You would have just held it up.
Oh,
Yes.
I see. Like, I'm not calling out snake. I'm just like, this
Because
one.
I do think it's a change in what you're memorizing, because it's going from visual versus visual to like an auditory word.
Right. And
this is why we have the psychology expert here.
And if you had been like, if it was 9 words in a grid and you said snake, that's also different.
Sure.
Like, you know what I mean? Because then that's like a direct correlation. But like, then you kind of have to be like, which one of those was the ant? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not necessarily like what
I think Ella wants to kiss you right now.
Oh, I'm loving this.
She was like, wait, you're kind of killing it. I kind of like that it wasn't that easy, because I think if it was just like, all right, now where was this? I think it would have.
I wouldn't have done any better, to be clear.
Oh. Okay.
I think that I would have done better. I think that I did kind of luck out a little bit with like, what were mine? Turtle, snake, and I don't even remember the other one, but it was like a pretty easy, it was like butterfly or something, like something that was relatively like, had the iconicity of like my brain being able to, I think it was like coral.
Well, the coral one, everyone wanted the fucking coral.
Yeah.
What was the one that was confusing to people?
Justin was confused.
I remember I said hammerhead shark.
There were 2 that were very similar. There were a couple that were similar.
Well, I did that on purpose.
Well, we know.
But then it's like, how do you... But Justin was confused about what the ant looked like. I remember.
If you don't know what an ant looks like at your ripe age or whatever.
The ant was like purple and green, and I think it had wings.
The color,
that's simply not true. He was probably looking at a dragonfly.
Pull up the footage.
Pull it up. Look at what the ant looks like.
Listen, okay, I don't have my materials here. They are in Rochester, New York, in preparation for the upcoming season. But when I do get to those little creatures, I will pull up what that ant looks like for you.
I'm not saying Justin's right, but Justin was confused about what the ant looked like. That's all I'm saying.
He should have learned his bugs. That's what I have to say.
Bug species quiz is the challenge.
You're gonna come on Survivor and not learn your bugs.
I'm like the girl. I'm like Foxface in Hunger Games.
Exactly. That's how that's how everyone should have been prepping, and those who didn't get left behind. Okay.
Oh wait. Did other people not get to go to the training camp beforehand? Before the season?
Yeah, I was there. I think it was voluntary though. Yeah.
Oh, so wow. I guess Justin just skipped out on that.
Yeah, I told everybody, go to the training camp.
Here's your passes. Sign in at the front. Sign in with Caesar Flickerman.
Yeah, I rented it out for you all, and like only like I think it was just you 2 that went, and it didn't help you, Ella. So
there was specifically that station to help with this challenge. And I'll tell you,
but you weren't at that station. There. I don't think. What were you doing at the?
Well, I just did point out I was there for hours at that station.
I was just gonna say she was there at that station. Hours. So
gotcha.
That's even more embarrassing.
You spent most of your time at the station?
I was holding out for the archery competition. Never came. So
I can't tell you exactly what the challenges are, you know?
Yeah.
Well, what about the throwing the sack of flour? Because I did that.
Yeah.
Maybe that one will come up later.
Okay.
We don't know.
We'll see. But
anyway.
I just thought it was funny watching everyone run because it's
Yeah.
slightly downhill, so
Oh.
people look crazy.
Yeah, I look insane. It's also, I
Because
mentioned
everyone's like
this.
trying to like stop. They're kind of like trying to brake, but like, they have the momentum going from,
I
going
did want to
downhill.
mention Justin falling, and I was just I was brought back to his statement that what would he do to win? Anything, even if it
Yeah.
means his life. And I think that he's making good on that promise because it was very scary.
Let's put this in context because he says that Kay at the very beginning of the challenger is like, there's weather issues. So, like, after this, we need to take safety precautions and we need to, like, go inside immediately.
Yeah,
He eats
yeah.
shit.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Santino like dives multiple times.
Yeah, I was gonna
Well,
say,
Santino's was
purposeful.
I was gonna say Santino's was annoying because he was just like,
Yeah.
I'll do it. And Justin just fell.
Justin fell.
Yeah, people are putting their bodies through it, as Ella says. No one is putting their body through what Santino seems to be putting
Yeah.
his body through.
Yeah, well, I also noted that I think Santino was succeeding because he was barefoot and he had his grippers out. He was able to like
yeah, the dogs were out.
Because I will say my sneakers, they do not have good wet traction.
That's fair.
They're so, specifically those sneakers, I love them, but they have very bad wet traction.
Yeah.
And they're very slippery even on like concrete that's wet. So I was like slipping and sliding in those. If I had taken my shoes off, maybe I would have won.
I will say people seem to be a little more speed focused than accuracy focused, because a lot of times it was just no one got it right. So it's like if you had taken the second,
I believe I wrote down both are wrong.
Yeah.
No one's right. So many times. I was like I would be so happy when one of our team members would get there first, and then it would just be like, God.
Every time my brain went, ah, that was the sound happening in my brain. And then I knew that I was picturing the grid like upside down.
Well, I was also thinking, because Grant mentions this in Tribal about how like we had zero strategy about who, like the matchups. And I don't know, like we should have done it maybe a little differently, like us as a team, obviously, but also like in terms of challenge design, it should have been like you have to lock in who you're going to pick before you see who the other team's picking, instead of like,
I think,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah, in hindsight, I think I probably would have just done like this team picks their person first.
Yeah.
Now it alternates, like that kind of deal.
Something like
that's
that.
Probably what I would have done.
Because then at least there's still some strategy, but it's more equitable. Because we went down our like set order, and then they were like matching up people to us, and we should have adapted by that point. But
it's also like it's hard to adapt at some level when everyone hasn't gone yet, though, because like you don't know who's gonna be.
Well, everyone did have to go once before you could repeat. That was a rule. Like we had to like cycle through.
Everyone had to do like a rotation.
You could change the order after that cycle, but you couldn't, like, I couldn't have gone twice in a cycle, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Like I should not have, I mean, there were too many of us that were bad at it. Like,
yeah.
Like if there was a way for me to not have gone again, that would have been ideal.
But you last in the rotation every time.
But it wasn't with me. So it was like
Yeah, but like we should have been like, what would have been the optimal thing to do is like Zach was getting it right. We should have put him up against someone who was slower, but he was going up against like Santino. He's not gonna win. And then like they were putting like against me and Grant, they were putting fast people because we were the people who were getting points. So like once I beat Mo twice, they like adapted and put Caroline next to me so that I can't beat Caroline in a foot race. So
yeah, I think the other, sorry, I just remembered the Santino comment, because he at both times when he dove, he didn't even put it in the right spot.
Yeah.
But because the other person had it wrong, he got the point when he like put it in the spot.
People they didn't understand that because you hadn't called it yet, it was wrong. Like they could have maybe been like, oh, it's wrong, I'll try and put it somewhere else or something, you know? But yeah. I know there was confusion about that on the sidelines. Everyone was upset about the Gabby.
It was just obvious that wasn't where he meant to put them. They just were like fell into the wrong.
I guess my response to that is like run better.
Yeah.
Simply don't throw your body down the hill. I don't know.
I mean, I also
Yeah.
was like, Santino was like pissing me off in this challenge, like just in general, because of the whole like, oh thing. I was like, God.
No.
And
then
once again, I want to bring it back to huge ego at the beginning of episode 1, because it's still relevant.
also he like I love that it cuts to him later in the episode being like, well, I'm like everyone loves me, I'm charismatic.
Yeah.
And our tribe is like, we don't like him.
He said, everyone can agree I'm a pleasure to be around. That's what he said.
Here's what I'll say is
I think at camp he was.
it was really interesting to watch both tribes
yeah.
be like, we were the ones being so positive and supporting, and the other team were being so cocky.
Yes,
and it's like,
I also noted that.
Both can't be true.
Right, I also noted that.
So yeah, the perception
I will say,
is...
I think a lot of the cockiness I was perceiving was specifically from Santino. But then there was also like a lot of like lighthearted comments about like from the sidelines or whatever, but those weren't actually like feeling like cocky or anything. But I think that they were assuming we were cocky because we were ahead. I don't know. I didn't really feel like we were putting that energy out, but we don't have a doll here to speak to it, so.
We sure do.
So it sounds like we weren't cocky since they're
Sounds
not.
like that's the truth, you know?
And someone who was getting way too into this challenge, Mo.
Oh my God.
It's so funny to watch him be so like flippant about like his role in this challenge.
Allie was desperate.
Skill.
Allie was desperate for
Are
anything.
you good at this? I don't know.
I don't know. Sure. You want to go first? Sure. Sure.
You're
do you
not
really think that Mo's
confident.
do you really think Mo's the kind of guy who's making plans and thinking?
Right. And that's something we need to come back to every episode, I think.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
it's a joy to watch, to be clear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, we need a little difference of mindset, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
And he was funny to watch run.
Oh yeah.
We all, to be clear, we all were.
I think I had the most joyful experience watching him because he was like tongue out, like
yeah. Well, he had to concentrate on what he was remembering while he ran, so he had to be like.
Maybe I should have been running like that.
And maybe you should have.
Maybe.
I mean, I did beat him twice, but
yeah. Enough. Okay. Enough about the challenge. Yeah. I think we've gone into depth here. But the dolls win.
I do think it's crazy they came back from where they came back from, though.
Okay, I will also say that they technically got a point at the beginning. We did a round where I like set it up wrong, and just for continuity reasons, I didn't want there to be like one round that was like totally different than the others.
Yeah.
So we just called it a wash. So they, and if they had lost, I think they would have had a big problem with that.
Wait, what happened?
I mean, we all agreed to it, to be clear.
Yeah, we did. But I can't remember.
I know Max in particular because I think he's the one that got the point.
I think so.
He was very upset. I opened the box, but I like called out the snake or whatever with the box open.
Yeah.
And they say that they didn't,
look at
it, which is like probably true, but it's like for the sake of fairness and like consistency, we had to just kind of
I mean, that just seems to be the only answer to that problem, because like, what if they say they didn't look at it? It's like, well,
because they were like both looking at me when I called it, so it's like it's fine. But yeah, that's all. It was my bad. Mine, and that's my mistake.
Oh, that's my mistake.
Yeah. All right. So let's take a look at the dolls camp. What's going on? What's going on there?
A whole lot of nothing at the dolls camp. I mean,
well, Santino is a pleasure to be around, and we hear this from Santino. But also,
well, Allie refers to him as charismatic. She's concerned about him in the game because she defines him as charismatic.
Yes.
So.
Dylan's saying he's a valuable member of the team. He's happy to have him. So like,
I mean, he's helping them win the challenge,
right? And he's a pleasure to be around.
Clearly a pleasure to be around. Yeah, I think that I do think, I mean, Allie's the one who says it outright, but like, yeah, people are noticing Santino in a good way, but that's bad for him.
Yeah.
Right.
This is
Yeah,
a
he's
point.
standing out a little much.
Yeah, this is the point of the game where you want to be, I think, not standing out too much.
Yeah, like you want to be, it's hard because like you want to be winning the challenges, obviously, but you also need to like, I mean, but again, he's doing a lot. Like he's putting himself in a very noticeable position, even from our perspective. Like we are noticing him hard
100%.
also. So that's just not like he could be contributing to the challenges in a way where they still win, but he's not being the same level of noticed, you know.
Yeah, I feel like it's giving Hunter hanging
Mhm.
off the pole upside down after winning the challenge, that kind of deal.
Definitely. He's
Yeah.
has strong Hunter energy, even though Hunter's better at challenges than he would ever be, but
I
Hunter's
think
just too
they're
good at
similar.
everything.
He's also
They are similar.
charismatic.
They are similar. I actually would say that they're pretty well, Hunter's not quite as strategic or villainous as Santino is, but
Well, you know, one can make an argument, but
yeah.
But that's for another show, I guess.
Hunter
but
would
yeah.
never say, sorry to keep talking. So Hunter would never say, oh, maybe we should just vote him out because he was with his partner after he almost drowned.
That's fair. That is fair.
Well, we did
But
vote
yeah.
out the person who drowned, so I don't know if we can speak either.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, you're one to talk.
Listen, I didn't say that I am blaming Santino for that, but Hunter would never say that, in my opinion.
Right.
I'll say this. I do stand by my allegations, Justin and my allegations, that Santino was taking performance-enhancing drugs.
I think so, and I think that he should have been booted from the game.
Yeah.
And again, that's my mistake because we did not do drug testing.
Exactly,
Definitely.
and we did, and you didn't even put it in the rules that wasn't allowed, so.
I didn't. So I guess it was fair game, really.
Yeah.
Would you like to go on the record and admit that you were doping some of the contestants?
All right. I just wanted there to be a little bit of an edge to the season.
Yeah, we needed some more.
We needed a grunt.
Oh, he gave us grunt.
And
he gave
got
us grunt.
One, okay?
We got grunt. We got fall on your face, dive in the grass level of dedication to the challenge. So.
And that's television.
Exactly.
I'll do anything for good television. Yeah, so we also get a segment of the coconuts in the tent talking about.
You mean the dolls in the tent?
Sorry, oh my goodness. Sorry, you guys should have such a better name. It's so much better to say.
I know.
The dolls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sorry, the dolls are in the tent talking about it's really small talk.
It's small. It's minuscule talk.
No, when I tell you, you guys didn't see the half of it. I watched like half an hour of these people just being like, so when's your birthday? Oh, cool. Mine's this.
And then, Too many people in this group are real life friends for this to be the conversation that's happening. Like, what is going on?
I think we had hit a point in the day where everyone was like a little tired. Now it's raining, so people are getting a little sleepy. And
listen,
like,
I was running on adrenaline at this point. Like it was like I was not tired. I was high on the fumes of Survivor.
On what?
Well,
just
I don't want to
say anything.
I don't want to say. I can't say. I was high on life. No, I was truly feeling like the Survivor energy was coursing through my veins.
So are you just mad because you didn't get any of the dope?
Yes, of course.
Anyone would be mad about that.
I want to be absolutely pumped up to the max. I want to walk onto the stage and for people to go, what happened?
Whoa, she's huge.
It's like Love Lies bleeding level transformation. Yeah,
that's what I want. I want to grow like 3 to 30 sizes bigger than I currently am.
Yes. Like a building size.
Yeah, and then like pull my girlfriend like through the stars.
Yeah, next season. Okay, there's time.
You know, I'm just saying if anyone else is going to play next season, we should think a little bit before. If it's not in the rules, obviously I will respect the rules. But if it's left out,
Zach's gonna watch this and add it to the rules.
He's not watching this. So that's his fault, really?
Yeah. There you go.
Anyway, okay, but okay, let's talk about the total lack of strategy though.
Yes,
happening.
yeah, I know. I'm obsessed with the like Allie cutaway and like the whole we're just sitting in the tent talking about nothing. Like,
to be fair, half of their group basically is strategizing because they have
Yes.
an alliance together. And so
yes,
to their benefit, to keep everyone in that tent,
right,
Definitely.
basically held hostage.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's
It's a
such
very
a classic
like
like
Boston
Survivor,
Rob
yeah.
vibe, but
For
it's like
sure.
half of them. And I
Yeah.
think Dylan is just like truly
Whatever,
vibing.
what's
Like I don't think
going on?
he's
Yeah.
really thinking about
Yeah. And like
anything. And then
and Allie
Bo.
knows that she has not been strategizing with anyone and has no alliances. So
And it's
she's like,
panicking.
yeah. And rightfully so, I would be. Like,
Yeah, it's good. It's good thinking. I think she's the only one in that tent who is uncomfortable. But also, like, literally, how do you leave that situation?
I
Like, you're like,
know.
oh, I just gotta go for a walk when it's like it's raining out there.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, like you
That's
can
what I'm
like
saying, even when she films her like one-on-one confessional that we get, it's like, was that her actual confessional or was she holding it? I can't remember.
No,
that was her
I
actual
I was filming
confessional.
her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So she was pulled away because I was like,
Yeah.
every time I could be like, yeah, you had to pee. Like,
Everyone
Right,
was pulled away.
but here's the
Yeah.
thing though, even if she does that, no one in that tent is picking up on what she's putting down. Like, I assume Dylan would be the person she would really want to talk to mostly,
Yeah.
but like Dylan's not going to be like, "Oh, I'll come with you." Like Dylan's just vibing in
No,
that tent.
Dylan's literally gonna be like, okay, go piss, girl.
Yeah, go.
girl,
And like Caroline's not
And
going
she's
to
like,
go because
no,
she
I'm
doesn't
gonna
want to.
go to the
Right.
bathroom. Dylan's like, okay, go
I
ahead.
also think it's interesting because we have this like pre-merge alliance with Caroline and Allie not in existence anymore. I mean, it's seemingly like they haven't even talked at all. So
Definitely.
and like Allie is clearly not in the
yeah,
eight.
this other alliance.
Yeah, but also this is maybe the perfect time to go and like, see what's going on around the camp. Now, obviously everything that we are aware of has been found
Yes.
in the camp, but like Allie does not know that. And she is under the assumption that there's probably something else out there.
Yeah.
Maybe
And
even
also
the
I was gonna say she knows that someone has the yin yang idol. Like, and she probably is assuming it's someone on her tribe.
Yeah.
So she should really be. I mean, but she's also mentioned that she is really bad at finding things. So I think she just like gives up on that stuff.
Yeah.
I think she doesn't think she's good at it. And then also, like I said, I think that there is like the pressure of like, you don't want to be the one person that
Yeah.
leads that tent.
Definitely. I would feel like I don't want to be on the outs of this conversation because the second
Yeah.
you're gone, that there's gonna be game talk happening, assumedly.
Right.
of,
It
like,
won't be when is
against
your
this
birthday
person.
kind of deal.
Exactly. Yeah.
It'll
So
be
you-
Or sorry, the more casual conversation of, oh, you were born premature. What was that like?
What was
Or
that
were
like
you
for
just
you?
a baby?
what was that like? Was truly one of, I want that engraved. That was amazing.
My favorite part of that conversation is Caroline jumping in, not knowing anything about Mo's premature birth situation, and going, "Yeah, he was just a baby."
She's not wrong.
She's not wrong.
Yeah. He didn't
Like,
really remember it because he was a
He was a
baby,
baby.
it felt like Allie was not listening at all and just was like, yeah, what was that like? Yeah, yeah.
Or were you just a baby?
Or you-
Oh, you were a baby, yeah.
It's so good. It's one of my favorite
Mhm.
scenes.
Yeah,
Of the whole
that
series.
and the exactly.
Exactly. Because you can tell she's like
Exactly.
desperately trying to like being like end this now. The other part is because Allie is such like a I need to fill the silence kind of thing.
Yeah.
She is leading this whole 30-minute
Right, that's the
and
thing.
nothing conversation. So she's just like, exactly.
Yeah, yeah,
This is
Right.
nothing burger. Yeah.
yeah.
It's incredible. But yeah, okay. So let's go to the Coconuts camp because that's where the
Mhm.
magic's happening.
That's where the magic is always happening.
Let's start with
At Casa de
Zach
Coconuts.
and his strategy.
Mm-hmm.
So he says that he wants to like ride the middle and like play play people against each other. What are our thoughts on that?
I mean, you're the idol.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I think what he means is play the middle with me.
With you, I think.
Because he was like, if the other people take each other out, then me and Jess can get to the end.
Right.
So I think he wants to pit like you and Gabby against Grant and against Justin if he remains in the game. Like whoever's left, you know, because this is before the vote. But I also think he's succeeding a little. I don't think anyone's really looking at him, and he's had conversations with everyone.
No.
So I think that he's doing a good job being like valuable enough to the team that no one is looking at him in a negative way, but no one's looking at him like, oh, you gotta go kind of thing either. He has good relationships across the board.
Yeah. Is it wise for him to give you the idol and not just show you? Like, would it have been just as effective if he had shown it to you?
I definitely was more swayed by him giving it to me, but I think our past relationship was already like a jumping off point for us. So I think there's definitely still a world in which he's my number one ally if he doesn't give me the idol. I think even if he had just shown it to me and been like, I need your help looking for this, I think that does a similar thing to him just like straight up giving it to me. I mean, at the end of the day, it is a powerless thing.
Right.
Like,
I mean,
it doesn't have power in this moment.
You know, he is right in his assumption that it is at the camp, but it is still an assumption. Like,
yes,
there's still a lot of things like, I don't know, maybe like the other half wasn't in play yet. Like, I don't know.
Or someone has it already.
Someone may have, you know.
Yeah.
So it's very risky for him to just give up that whole power.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
Of course. I do think it's less risky than a traditional idol.
Definitely.
For sure.
Because I can't just turn around and like use it against him.
Yeah.
Like, because it doesn't actually have power. But what if I had found the other half? And then he just gave that would be crazy.
Would have been
insane.
And you're like, I'm gonna keep it.
I was like, oh my god, this is so great that you showed this to me, Zach. Like, let's totally look for the other half.
We'll see if we find it together.
Yeah. But yeah, Jess,
I mean, like,
I do want to touch on your relationships in general, because if anyone's like in the middle here, I do think it's probably you. You're at the center of a lot of things.
Yeah.
Not so much with Ella and Gabby. They're in their own little corner.
Yeah.
But everyone else like is having some sort of relationship with you and like you alone.
Yeah, I noticed that too. I think specifically this like weird trio with me, Grant, and Zach is like very valuable in this circumstance.
It's funny because Grant is like trying to like pull in Zach and being like, well, he doesn't know that Jess is my number one, and Zach's like, and he doesn't know that Jess is my number one. It's really funny to watch.
Yeah, it is funny, and like I think I'm supposed to be assuming that they're together, like, you know what I mean? Like, I think that they're publicly trying to make it seem like they're a duo, and I don't think it's working at all. I think mostly Grant is trying to make it seem like they're the duo, and then I'm his like secret number one. And I also think Justin, as much as he was like trying to like throw me under the bus or whatever, he's not playing the game enough that like it's threatening to me, and I think that my relationship with him is still valuable in the game. Which is why another reason why like if this was a traditional vote out, I do think in like rewatching this episode, it makes more sense for me to get rid of Gabby, but because of the tribe swap, like I said, that would never have worked in my opinion. But
oh, I also wanted to add, in terms of you being like playing the middle with your relationships, you are keeping Grant's idol a secret from Zach.
Yeah, like I said, that was kind of like my one big thing I was like trying to do is like have that be the like something that I could either use to my benefit or against him in the future. Like either way,
the man gave you a half idol, and you were like, thank you, and I'm giving nothing in return.
I did think about it. I was like, oh shoot, now's the time I should tell him. And then I was like, wait a second, maybe you don't do that. Yeah. Maybe you have something that's only for yourself. Yeah.
I think was the smart move here.
Yeah, I think that it is the right decision, especially considering that like now with it felt like the right decision in the moment, but also having seen the conversations between Grant and Zach, it makes a lot more sense even like more sense to keep it a secret because of this weird like trio we have going on.
Mm-hmm. I also think you don't really see it in this episode, but at this point, Grant was also talking to Gabby and I,
Yes.
saying that like we were the final.
Mm.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, but I wasn't aware of that. But I got that
It's
vibe
definitely clear
from
that you guys have like something happening. I just didn't know that you guys like named it. You know.
I,
I wasn't aware that he
he
named it.
yeah.
and
I
Gabby
also
definitely, she was like, "Yes, this is a good. We should be going this way." And
yeah.
I remember being like,
Well, which is so funny
Yeah.
because he's like Black Widow Brigade.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think it's clear that this is happening from your conversations in the past episodes, so it is a little unfortunate it's not in this episode or like wasn't filmed or whatever. But I also will say, like, even though me and Ella haven't spoken really, I'm still viewing you as an asset to me because of, again, our past game
Y'all didn't
relationship.
speak?
Well, we spoke.
Y'all didn't have like a one-on-one conversation?
No, we had one-on-ones with everyone at this
Okay.
point. Yeah.
our tribe, in juxtaposition to the tent crew over there, was doing like, "Okay, you speak to this person, and then we're gonna like
Yeah.
rotate."
I think you guys should have just sat in the tent and figured it out.
Yeah, you're right.
And that
You're
whole
right.
idol conversation is also happening there
Yeah.
too.
Yes.
What do you have to say?
We're gonna have the talking stick be passed around. Give us your game information that you have. Debrief. No, we were doing like we were very and I think again the reason for this is because me being me, Ella, Zach, were so say traumatized by the lack of time that we had in Manhattan. And we
Yep.
were like, all right, because we like the first two tribals on Manhattan, we like did not like have enough time to do these one-on-one things. So we were like, okay, we're gonna start with one-on-ones and then natural conversations can happen like later.
I do also think that it provides a really good way for you to be able to actually talk to everyone and it not be like sus. You know?
Exactly. I think everyone benefits from it.
Yeah, it's like an egalitarian.
Yeah. But like I said, I was definitely talking to Ella. I just don't think it was anything beyond like service level conversation about the game. I mean, I was telling you things that weren't like super secret, but like just my thoughts on everything. But that was why I could kind of tell that you and Gabby were talking a lot and having conversations together because you guys were both saying like almost exactly the same thing to me in those one-on-one conversations.
Yeah.
At this point in the game, are you guys like kind of sus of each other?
I don't think I was that sus of you. I definitely was sus of you and Gabby, but not in like a super threatening way, to be honest.
I was not very threatened by Jess at this point. I mean, I during this episode, as I say in the episode, thought that I was on the chopping block, and kind of rightfully so, given my performance in the episode. So in that sense, I felt threatened in that like you had done well and I hadn't, but I didn't view it as like a you were out to get me type of a.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, and I wasn't. So I think, yeah. I think we were just sort of like keeping each other at arm's length, but not in like a malicious way kind of thing is the relationship we had at this point. I definitely was open to working with you like in the future, should the game lead us there.
Yeah. I do want to like commend you, Ella, because even though like you and Gabby are kind of like attached at the hip here, you are doing a good job of distinguishing yourself.
Yes.
And like I think the past two votes have been very like you driven in a lot of ways. So like and that's hard to do, especially when you do have someone who's like with you, like and very much attached.
To our boys.
Yeah, I agree. I think that you are playing a good game, but you're just hindered kind of by Gabby's presence in your game.
Which it's like, I think that I get why she was doing it.
Yeah.
And I wasn't doing anything. Like, I think I probably could have done more to like
separate yourself from her. Yeah.
But
yeah. But I think this is a good transition into our episode MVP.
Ooh.
I will say, yeah, this was really tough. I have like 6 candidates here that I just at least want to talk about and just to process, I think, on my own. And then we
I
can
have
maybe
I have a feeling my 2 picks are in your list. So why
they're
don't we just
probably
start
in the
with your
list.
list?
So
Yeah.
number 1, I have Mo. No, I'm just kidding. Uh, so sorry.
Does he really
Sorry.
look like a kind of guy who's making plans and thinking?
What he has to be the MVP because he survived birth.
So true.
Stop.
And that was a really hard thing for him as a baby, you know.
As a baby.
Okay, but for real, and this is like not in a particular order or anything. But my first one was Caroline.
That she's one of my 2 picks, yes.
With her idol shenanigans and like building those relationships, but like, you know, but not doing it with everyone, I think is smart. And but she's keeping some information to herself and away from certain people. That was really good.
I also think that her
yeah.
challenge performance can't be understated. She did really well in the challenge. She got the winning point. She's
Certainly.
great at running. She's smart. She's providing a lot to the team, but not unlike Santino, she's being low key about it.
Yeah.
Like I also sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, to me, she was the MVP of the dolls.
Definitely the MVP of the dolls.
Even though you could argue, I think Santino, in theory, did really well in the challenge, and like had a large presence. I think she was more behind the scenes.
Yeah,
Yes,
I did also write down Santino because of his challenge performance and again with the relationships that he's building, and he seems to be valued amongst most of his tribe. Now, obviously the alley of it all with him is hard to ignore.
I think that you can't really talk about him in the same way as you would talk about Caroline. Like, even between those 2, I think there's a clear choice because Caroline has all the power. Like, truly all the power. He has her fake idol that she planted. She knows it's fake. He told her that he had an idol, even though she, like, watched him find it.
To be fair, he is skeptical of it because he's like, there's no
that's
note
true.
in here.
That's true. He said whatever this thing is. Yeah.
Yeah. And he tried to get me to kind of tell him something. Yeah, and I was like,
yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah.
But he was like, is this an idol? And I was like, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely think he's playing a good game, but I think between him and Caroline, the choice is clear for me that it would be Caroline over him. But we can talk about the next candidate.
I have a certain woman on my list, and her name is Jess.
Yeah.
And again, this is a kind of a restamp, but like you're in the middle of a lot of things. You're a lot of people's number ones. You're trusted by many. That's really the fact that Zach gives you an idol is cuckoo bananas, but
yeah, I agree.
It does speak to your approachableness, I guess, your trustworthiness.
I guess so. I don't consider myself that approachable of a person, but I guess in this game I am exuding a certain energy because everyone wants to work with me, I guess. So
I don't think that you come across as someone at least in the game you don't feel judgmental, which I think is good, like for the game, and also you talk a lot.
Oh, do I?
Well, the mams are talking.
Oh, yes.
I think that also disarms people.
I think that you're right about that. In watching my game, I have noticed some talking that I've done. Perhaps some may say too much talking for it to be smart. But I think that it does disarm people. I think you're right.
Yep.
It makes me feel like I'm an open book almost.
But you weren't. Which I think is telling that you were able to you were giving attorney. You were able to just keep talking and not say anything.
Oh, and that's what I do on the daily.
She's talented in that respect. But let's talk about another talented woman, Ella.
Oh, you're not putting her for MVP, are you?
You're a candidate. I've written your name down because I you did have somewhat of a target on your back, especially your challenge performance, and with your relationship with Gabby, I think it would have been very easy for you to be the vote here. But the fact that you weren't even one of the targets is interesting. Like Gabby was the other one, and you
Yeah.
said it's not even gonna be her, it's not gonna be me, it's gonna be Justin. And obviously he does like give you a very easy excuse, but you take that and you run with it.
I did.
Yeah, that was good.
Like he had truly given up in a way that he hadn't.
Yeah. And it's hard to say exactly what would have happened, you know, if you weren't a part of this, but from my perspective, it seems like everyone else was really up in the air about Justin and Gabby, and you being so like gung-ho about him like really like wanting to go home, even though like not fully the truth, you know, you took it and you like twisted it a little bit. Like I think that did sway people.
It did. I would agree that's what happened.
His case closed. I think I'm the MVP.
We've heard enough. We've heard enough.
Anyway, next
candidate. I wrote down Allie, because she is one of the only people like thinking about gaming, even though she is trapped.
She's
she has a good
trapped. Yeah.
She has a good like mindset happening, even though she can't really do much about it, and she's thinking forwardly about who she does not want to move forward.
Yes.
So she says is almost everyone.
She's like, I
think she's like, Caroline Sunshine.
But I think I know in a previous episode she had mentioned wanting some of us, like our tribe, out pre-merge as well. Like I think in her mind she's bigger picture.
Yeah, I think that's true. I also think that she genuinely doesn't really feel like she can work with the dolls at all, like any of them even. Maybe Dylan, but like I think the fact that none of them are talking strategy is kind of making her feel like, what are we doing here? Like, let's get to the merge already, you know, so she can find new alliances.
Yeah, because even if she wants to work with Dylan, he doesn't seem to have the drive to a relationship like that.
Right.
Yeah. And my last candidate, unless you have something else you really want to say.
No, go.
Okay, my last candidate is Zachary.
Zach was my other pick. I kind of picked one from each tribe because there's like two very different things happening on the two tribes. So yes, I would like to hear your argument for Zach.
I would love to hear your argument since you picked him out.
Okay, well, I said I think whether or not the yin yang idol was a smart move to give to me, his intention behind it was clearly to get me to trust him, and it worked. So I put that as a positive for him. I think he seems to be well trusted by everyone on the Coconuts. He has been having really good conversations with everyone, like even Ella and Gabby, who he's not like necessarily working so closely with. And his name has not come up once.
No. I agree with all of that, but if I have to choose one person from each tribe for MVP, it's you, Jess, and it's Caroline for me.
Okay, so between those two, who do you think you lean towards?
God,
it's a tough choice.
Yeah, I mean, my instinct is Caroline.
I would like to move Ella up the ranks a little bit. I know it's hard for you both to like think of yourselves in like in an objective way, but
it is hard. Like it's easier for me to see like because like me and Zach are kind of playing a similar game at this point, I guess, but it's easier for me to put those positive qualities onto Zach's game than my own game, because I feel like I'm kind of
I think you're playing a cleaner game than he is at this point.
I think that's true.
I'm doing less, that's for sure. But
and I do think talking it out actually helped me realize who's maybe more on top. So I think the first three I wrote are the most for consideration for me. So Caroline, Jess, and Ella is who I wrote on the top.
Okay.
Black Widow.
Okay. Yeah, right. Okay.
Wait. Grant, watch out.
I'm trying to look at this objectively. I think I would lean towards God. I thought I had an answer and I don't.
You're like, by the time I finish.
All right, well, let's say this, okay?
Okay.
For you, Jess, pick between Ella and Caroline.
I can't.
Ella, you're picking between Jess and Caroline. Okay.
Got it.
And then
then
I'll
you'll pick.
do
You'll be
whatever
the okay.
is.
And I have
I choose. I'm gonna stick with my original pick and say Caroline.
Okay.
Yep. And I think Jess.
Great.
So you have to pick.
All right. I'm gonna go with Jess. I'm gonna go with Jess.
Oh my god, you guys.
Yeah. So, oh my god, wait, first episode MVP?
Yes, including Manhattan.
Wait. I can roll out the disco ball for you.
Whoa, let's go. Huge.
I didn't know there was a disco ball possibility. I
Ella's like, wait, never mind. I actually can suddenly see the game 100% objectively. Vote for myself.
Well, there's always possibility for you to get it another time, but for that now, this is Jess's.
Let's go.
Stay tuned, folks.
This is funny because I was just like, Kay and I don't discuss the episode MVPs before we do the podcast, but I did say, like, man, I don't think it's me. I did say that. I was like, I really don't see myself winning the episode MVP today, but
here we are.
We are. You have two fans in the room.
Always on my side. Always in my corner.
We're right there.
Congratulations. Thank you. I'm honored.
When next week we're going to have a very exciting episode to talk about.
Big episode.
I don't know what you could possibly be referring to.
For those who've watched before, this is the infamous Bucketgate episode. Mm-hmm. And we will have on none other than Allie herself to talk about her experience with this episode.
Have every single person who participates.
Honestly,
get everybody in here.
We need a roundtable because there's so much to discuss with this episode.
Yeah, I'm really excited to talk about it. I'm really excited to watch it again.
Yes, me too. I also will say we have talked Bucketgate into the ground with Allie, but I'm really excited.
But now it'll be public for everyone to see.
On record, yeah.
Can I put this out to the Mams Talk community?
Sure. Public service announcement. Okay. I
would like to make a request to our small but feral fan base that someone go through the episode 4, and look to see how many buckets of water are thrown on each.
And that's not even all of them.
That won't even be all of them, yeah.
To be so clear, I cut so much of this.
Because of editing, yeah.
Release raw footage so that our fans...
I think it's all been deleted. I let these episodes live in that.
I need to know.
I was gonna say, I do think that our biggest feral fan is Kay. So at the end of the day, she could go through and look at it. But like you said, the footage is gone. We'll never truly know how many buckets of water was
a number right now. And I'm gonna say that I personally threw 1,000.
It's probably close.
Probably maybe almost that, yeah.
It's at least 2, I would say.
It's
no between because the footage doesn't exist.
Exactly. And we don't know how much was cut, there's no way to
I mean, we could do a little math here. We can be like, how many buckets are being thrown per 30 seconds or whatever.
But we know?
Well, no, because we have a timestamp. Roughly of it lasting whatever. This is the next episode conversation.
We'll dive into this.
Yeah, Ella we can get our unit rate and then multiply that by however many minutes there were. So
we'll do some math.
I'm gonna dig deep. Okay, I'm gonna get back to you.
Thank you.
Perfect.
We're gonna do some research.
Awesome.
When you present someone with a jar full of candy, whoever has the closest number wins.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is also math, but
well, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
It's just volume at the end of the day.
Well, you know what math is. Counting. And that's what's happening.
Yes. All right, y'all. really excited for that. Thank you both for being on and discussing this really fun episode.
I'm so excited to keep talking about it. It gets only better from here.
And with that, the mams are signing off.